It says, were some of the sessions recorded on your devices? She says, because they were there. So I'm guessing she says yes, right? Because they were there. AUSA says, if you saw them on your device, what would you do? She says, I would delete them. She says, the AUSA says, why? Well, they were disgusting. I never wanted anyone to see them. They said, were Sean devices used sometimes? Ventura says, yes. I asked him to delete them. Did he? She says, I don't know. AUSA says, did you ever leave a freak off before it was over? She said, yes, at the Century City Intercontinental. And I think that's where the beating happened. I finally had a premiere coming up, which was the next day, which, by the way, we played a video of her at the premiere the day after, right? Bumbleclot. I'm still, like, traumatized. Diddy was in the next room getting lathered up with semen. Leftover semen that was on Cassie. Imagine Cassie scooping up the semen off of her. Like, hold on, Diddy, I got you, nigga. All right, grab your nipple. Imagine Diddy's like, all right, girl, take that. Just rub it all in. This is nasty. Diddy, you a nasty nigga, bro. Yo, Diddy, it's not a crime to be gay, nigga. There's mad bati man out here doing whatever the fuck they want to do. You caught a fucking Fed case because you know there was many people who said Diddy should have been admitted that he's a fucking bati man. Mad people said that. He could have been out of this. Say, hey. Cassie's just mad because this whole time I love dick. I just wanted her to fuck the niggas that I could get their nut. I was harvesting male semen. We would have said, all right, that's kind of kinky and weird and Batiman shit, but like, that's not sex trafficking. No charge. This nigga done acted like he was straight this whole time. Bamboozled us. Hoodwinked us. Led us astray. The thought of Diddy looking like this chick in the next room with male semen on his body. I know somewhere Frank Ocean's like, I'm glad I came out. Frank Ocean, all them other bati money, they're like, I'm glad we just came out. Yo, this is exactly how he would look. How you use nut like lotion? It's like, did he wish he was lactating? Why did he want it on his nipples? He wanted semen on his nipples. Now, this is like confusing to me. Because Diddy got semen too. Pause. He's a man. I wonder if when he nutted from these things, were he rubbing it on his nipples? Yo, chat, with all due respect, hey, pause on this. All my Jamaicans, yo, you see the flag in the background, yo, never go Louis, Yo, I gotta get a bati man on the stream to explain this type of kink, because I don't know. I don't know what this is about. We're gonna get a bati man to explain why the fuck, if you produce semen, you want another man's semen on your nipples. We might have to bring Saucy Santana on stream. This ain't freaked out, chat. This is Batiman activities. Okay, let me stop. I'm just shocked by this revelation. I'm livid. I don't know what to say. Okay, so the Century City Intercontinental thing. Remember, this was what I was gonna pull up. So, I want to leave this page up. Sorry. Here we go. Cassie interview day after. So remember, we just kind of played it low key. Her day after the beating. The day after the hotel video. This was it, right? So
is actually interesting too.
Interesting.
So essentially, she's saying they asked, "Have you ever left before a freak off was over?" So she's saying that was a freak off happening. She said, "Yes, I left it. It was at the Century City Intercontinental Hotel, the place where the assault happened." She said, "I finally had a premiere coming up, and I didn't want to mess it up. But Sean hit me." She said, "At what point did Sean hit you?" She said, "Between sessions." So Diddy was waiting in between sessions, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Remember, they clarified. By the way, one thing about lawyers, they always try to sequence shit. Remember what a session is. A session is until the sex worker came. Remember how they said it went down. Every time, for the most part, at least Philip, who seems to be the sex worker that was in this, Diddy would watch Cassie get fucked until the guy came. When the guy came, Diddy and Cassie would go in the other room. Cassie has now let us know what they were doing in the other room. She was scooping the nut, because a lot of times he would instruct the nigga to nut in her pussy. I'm sorry for all the crass language, but it is what it is. This is a freak-ass case. He would instruct the guy to ejaculate in her. Now we're finding out she would scoop the nut out of her pussy and put it on his nipples in the next room. And the sex worker would be just sitting there like, okay, what are we doing? And after a while, they would come back in and be like, oh, we're going again. Or they'd be like, they'll invite him into the room. That's how it was going down. So y'all get the understanding of what's going on. So apparently, this is after she done lather this nigga areolas and nipples with motherfucking male semen. Diddy, for whatever reason, hits her, okay? AUSA says, what happens next? I got to the elevator. Next thing I know, I was thrown to the ground. So they're talking about this footage. Who threw you to the ground? Sean. He grabbed me by the neck in my hoodie, okay? The AUSA says, let me show you the video. Now I'm going to play y'all the video because we got to. Hotel video, Diddy. Yo, Diddy, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think your PR fucked up. You should have admitted that you're gay a long time ago, because you know how in the court of public opinion, we're so shocked that you're fucking homosexual that we don't even want to react to nothing else. Just like how y'all admitted to you beating her to take the sting off of that people could focus on the charges. Now we're like, wait, Diddy's gay? He got semen being rubbed on his body? It's fucked up the entire thing. So now they're playing this video. Here's the video.
We're going to begin tonight.
Here we go.
Telling
most defendants
sitting what's in a towel.
Expect most defendants
On day one.
Oh, here we go.
As a fight over a phone. The team acknowledged Combs does have a temper, but pointed out, quote, there was domestic violence, but that is not sex trafficking. As for the so-called freak-offs or Wild King nights, allegedly drug-filled sex parties that went on for days, Combs' attorneys downplayed them, saying their client led a swingers lifestyle, that the gatherings were consensual threesomes. And we do expect to see Cassie Ventura on the stand. It'll be the first time she comes face-to-face with Combs since 2018, when Ventura attended Kim Porter's funeral. Porter was Combs' ex and the mother of 4 of their children. Testimony, we understand, has wrapped.
Look at how much people are behind there. Okay, so cool. So she says he grabbed me by my neck and my hoodie, and then they play the video we just kind of saw in part. Do I need to play the whole video? I think we've seen it a bunch of times. The AUSA says, what are you doing? She says, trying to use the hotel phone. What is Sean doing? He's taking my bag and my phone. And the judge says, we're going to break for the day. Chat, that is so explosive. I'm going to keep it a being with you. Diddy's team, I thought it was going fairly decent, because there was a lot of things that she threw out there that Diddy's team was going to be able to body her with. This idea of Diddy, and again, I know. Yeah, some of y'all gonna be like, oh, no, it's only homophobic people that are gonna care that he's gay. We don't care that he's gay. We only care about, we get it. But this is playing out in the media as well. That one detail just overshadowed the fact that I don't think Cassie did that well today. I don't think she did. I think Cassie sowed a lot of seeds to say, she said, oh, I kept doing the freak-offs because I didn't want him to do it to someone else. She sowed the seeds to say, I wasn't trying to lose this nigga. But that little tidbit right there is going to be over all the blogs. That's going to be the main thing. That one salacious detail, that's the problem for Diddy. The salacious detail. Granted, who cares if he's gay? But again, this was always a speculation, so it's a big deal. It's oh shit, Diddy's gay. Diddy likes semen rubbed on his body. That shit right there is going to cloud the judgment not only of people on social media, people in the press, but who knows? It might affect the jury to be like, oh, this was a gay man who used a young, impressionable, financially dependent woman and used her as a sex object to get his rocks off. Not about her, about the men, the niggas that he wanted to fuck but was too scared to fuck by himself. I'm not gonna lie to you, chat. They threw in a monkey wrench, and by the way, think about it. The judge is broke for the day. We're done until tomorrow. It is a strategy among defense attorneys, among prosecutors. You like to end each day, especially with a big witness, and we do think this is a key witness. You drop that bomb, walk out the room. Now everybody got to deal with it. Pink Trophy Media, what's up? Lizzie, what up? Now, I know some of y'all are saying, are you making too much about it? This is him being gay shit. I get it. You're right. All right, you're right. But remember, he's being judged by his peers. He's being judged by his peers. And also, we didn't hear anything about them trying to carve out anything about his sexuality. They're only trying to say he was a swinger. But what I do know, and I'm going to tell you why I do know this, because there's somebody working for Diddy's team. I don't even want to say her name, but she's working with Mark Garagos and Tenny Garagos. They hit me. They gave me their cell phone number. They said, we in court every day. Hit us. We're the PR people for Diddy. We'll give you the accurate information, blah, blah. They do care about what the media is reporting, because they do know in a general overall sense, they want this to look or be covered like this is a farce. This is made up after this woman got salty that she left the bag, Diddy, got with a broke nigga, threatened to sue him. She shook him down because he was scared about his reputation being blown up. So he paid her some bread. And then the feds, they were just hella thirsty and came in and took this. And now they're charging with a RICO, which is not only an overcharge, but they're going off of a civil case, which the woman had an incentive because she was broke. That's their angle. That's what they want to be covered. I'm telling you the truth. I have his PR person's number in my phone. They said they're in court. They said just text us. We'll send you anything that we could send you. And I'm like, all right, but I understand it's PR for Diddy. What the AUSA did is drop a little piece of gossip or whatever you want to call it. Hey, Diddy's gay. So now that you know Diddy's gay, maybe you think about this differently, that maybe he wasn't even interested in this woman at all. Now, keep in mind, this is where this is going to get interesting. I got to read a little bit more about this, but think about Andrew Tate. And I hate to bring Andrew Tate into this, but it makes sense. Andrew Tate's charged with sex trafficking in Romania because they claim he used what's called the lover boy method. It's a basic way of manipulation where you pretend to be in love with someone, and because they're acting on this false pretense that you love them or you're romantically trying to court them for further relationships, this and third, they do things that are either unbecoming or things that they necessarily don't want to do. After realizing that you're doing this in a surreptitious or you're doing this in a fake fraudulent way, that becomes kind of sex trafficking. So the lover boy method is one thing. I think what this brings up, again, I'm not on the jury, but what this then now contextualizes the whole Diddy case to me is that Diddy wanted dick. Diddy ain't want no pussy. He wanted dick. Diddy wanted dick. He was really insecure about his sexuality. We hear about the sex worker who was fucking Cassie, looks back at Diddy, and Diddy gets in a verbal, I don't know if it was physical, argument with the guy to say, stop looking at me. So how could you be that offended if your kink is just being a cuck? That the man looks at you. However, when he ejaculates on your woman, you and her go to a private room where she lathers you in the guy's semen. Diddy was probably gay. Not probably, he is gay. Diddy's a homosexual man who could now be seen to be using this woman as a beard. Like, people have heard that about, these undercover gay men. Like, we had a governor in Jersey named Jim McGreevy or something McGreevy. Nigga was gay as shit. He had a family, because most politicians don't get elected unless you got a wife or some type of, you look like you got a family structure. Bachelors usually don't get elected. He had a wife, had kids. It came out later that he was gay. So his wife was what they call a beard. It's a cover up. You get what I'm saying? So It's possible to believe that Diddy was using Cassie as a beard. Diddy liked cock. He loves semen. Okay? And in him liking these things and to protect his public image, he acted like he was a cuck. Like, oh no, I'll sit back here while you fuck my girl. Don't look at me though. Who is he jerking off looking at? Chat, let me ask y'all a question. In light of this, who y'all think Diddy was jerking off looking at? Cassie or the man? Now, granted, I believe the best strategy is for Diddy to admit his sexuality. You have to admit your sexuality. Because even if you're undercover gay, even if you's a bati boy, it doesn't mean you're a sex trafficker. There is no charge for you to be gay. There is a charge for you to sex traffic. Now, it could be looked at you're gay and you're using her sexually to get what you want sexually out of men. That's sex trafficking. That is. Now, if you establish like, yeah, I'm bisexual, I'm gay, whatever. However, I'm just kinky. That's different. But if Diddy's team ignores this idea that he's homosexual, I think Diddy's going to jail. Cassie has dropped the bomb. She took the pin out of the grenade. She dropped it in the room. She's walked out. We're going to sit on this for a day until tomorrow. Diddy has to explain. His defense has to explain. Were you using this woman as a conduit for you to get to the men? If that's the case, you deceived her because she was, in her mind, she thought she was going to have a family with you. She was going to marry you. You deceived her, and under the pretense that you were, number one, straight, number two, going to marry her, number three, really interested in her, which I think he was interested in her. You're deceiving her and using her as an object to get what you want in a very low-key way. Now, I ain't going to lie to you. After I just heard that, first person Instagram I got to go to. What he done say? He ain't say nothing? Shit. Chat, I ain't going to lie to you.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
$50. Sit down on your luck. Not feeling good today? Well, look at the bright side. You could be Diddy. Yo, 58 shit. No fucking way. Bro, I'm shocked and appalled. Diddy was in the next room looking like this. Yo, Cassie, keep rubbing it in. Diddy was trying to get pregnant from the male escorts. Rub the semen on me. That's crazy. You know why that's also especially nasty for any man? Because we all, you know, you're grown. We all jerk off. Semen is like the stickiest, nastiest shit low-key, bro. Like, nobody's playing with semen. This ain't Play-Doh, nigga. Like, yo, you don't want that shit even touch your hands. Like, what the fuck? What the hell did he got going on, man? Like, you don't even want that shit to really touch your skin. Much less, nah, rub it in. Go ahead, girl, rub it in. Got Cassie using the semen like Lubriderm. Now, this is crazy. What? Oh, they ended on long crimes. Nah, this is crazy, chat. So everyone's supposedly leaving court. It's gonna take a while. Shout out to my boy Myron Gaines. He's in the field with it. I watched him give some valuable details about day one. I don't know if y'all saw. He
You're
actually
live.
Am I? Okay.
gotta get a little better camera, but he was rocking out there. By the way, I fuck with Myron. I know some of y'all don't like him for whatever reasons. I think when it comes to shit like this, I think he's good. Okay, I'm not here with him for the fucking KKK Jewish stuff. That's not me. But I think he's good at this because he has a background in law. He knows a lot. I did offer him my studio if he needs to do anything. So this was him yesterday talking about whatever. So he's gonna give some details here. Just bear with me, because I think he's outside the court. Here we go.
This strip thing for the bachelor party. He shows up and no one's there. It's just Cassie. He's like, "What the hell?"
Oh, here we go.
She's like, "Hey, is it okay? I'll pay you extra." He's like, "Okay, no problem."
Oh, see, this is what I'm saying. Watching some of these things give us more details. So apparently the guy who, remember, he was a stripper, then he started fucking Cassie. He shows up one time and Diddy's not there. Listen.
He gets called because no one else was available. He goes for a bachelorette party. Basically, what ended up happening was Cassie called him for a bachelorette party. Nobody was available. He was a member of this whole bachelorette party strip club thing. He shows up. Basically, gets called because no one else was available. He goes to do this strip thing for a bachelorette party. He shows up and no one's there. It's just Cassie. He's like, "What the hell?" She's like, "Hey, is it okay? I'll pay you extra." He's like, "Okay, no problem." So he opens the door.
So
He goes inside.
just to check, escort is a male prostitute, right?
Yes, but this guy was a stripper. He wasn't an escort yet.
He wasn't a
Escort isn't really necessarily a prostitute. It's this alternate thing, but it pretty much is. Hey, somebody says, hold on. Let me see. We got talking about in the chat. Hold on, let me keep playing.
prostitute.
He wasn't a prostitute yet.
Okay.
So he shows up, right? And Cassie's there by herself, or so he thinks. Right? So she opens the door. He goes in, and they rub baby oil on each other, right? He didn't know who she was back then. She was wearing red lingerie, red heels, and sunglasses indoors. And when he went to this hotel to meet her, it was the Gramercy Park Hotel in Manhattan, I think is what he said. Gramercy Park.
Oh, I know where. Okay.
You know where that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Her husband, she said, "Hey, my husband is here. He's not gay. He's just going to be watching."
All right. Yo, shout out to my boy Jay Will in the building. Thank you for the 10. He says, would you get back with, or he said chat, actually. Chat, would you get back with an ex? We broke up a year ago, mainly because she was too busy. I've had girls since, but I can't forget her. And now she's texting me, acting real friendly. Why did you break up with her? I mean, I guess it depends why you broke up with her. And also, what's your intention with her? If maybe she had some fire sex and you just wanted to keep fucking her, I guess. That's not necessarily getting back with her, but if you want to get back in a relationship with her, it would probably depend on why y'all broke up, right? And probably what's happened in your life since, okay?
Okay. And he wouldn't touch him, right? Because obviously he doesn't know who Cassie is at this point, right? This is 2012, 2013-ish. He doesn't know who she is. And then he goes into the room and he sees someone there wearing a white robe, a bandana over his face, and a hat. And he's like, he didn't know who the fuck it was. It wasn't until he heard the person speak that it was like, oh, that's fucking Diddy. Okay?
White robe and bandana over his face.
He didn't want the strip to slide everywhere. He walks into a room, he sees he's wearing a bandana, hat, white robe, referred to him, and Cassie referred to him as baby. At this point, he doesn't know who he is yet.
So Cassie's not calling Diddy, at least when the escort pulls in. He ain't calling him Pop. He's calling him baby. You get what I'm saying? By the way, 9-breaker, thank you for the 10. It says was, here we go. Was Diddy chasing Cassie in that hotel with nut crust on his, oh my God. They said, was Diddy chasing Cassie with nut crust on his nipples? Bro, there's so much bad imagery, bro. Oh, man. Yo, everything hits different right now, chat. Everything hits different.
I was fucking this bad bitch, she fucking me good, and every time I drove me crazy. I pull up to
remember that story about the wild party that Meek had with Diddy? And they said they found all type of things there. I remember saying, oh, that sounds cap. Now I'm like.
Yeah, rich niggas from the ghetto doing that metal. I'm with Diddy on another level. Yeah, bitch, man, get your shovel. I'm a guy, give me it. I'm talking shit. I'm on the mic trying to rap, do my thing.
Yo, why Jameson React says, yo, Ak, you need an expert to break this down. You need Sneeko because he's been to swinger parties. Chat. Okay, I know Diddy's trying to say he was a swinger. I think Diddy's gay. I don't think he's a swinger. I think he's homosexual. He comes from an era that just isn't brave. They're pussy. They're scared to tell people because of their reputation and their whole image. So many people, like all the people who grew up on them that are in their 40s, they don't know them as gay. So for them to admit they're gay is like the hardest thing. These days, if it's like a young artist, they just say they're gay. So I know we're hearing the swinger thing. I'm really just thinking Diddy's gay, bro. Diddy's fucking gay.
What's the move? It's your birthday.
I ain't gonna lie. Now I'm remembering this. French Montana picture with Diddy. Y'all remember this picture right here? This picture never really. This picture was. Hold on. The way Diddy was shirtless and was trying to angle his butt cheek towards French. There's not enough Coco Loso in the world of Ciroc that could make a nigga stick the booty out like that. Bruh, he was sticking the booty out. It was sticking it out. It was sticking it out right there. Right. It was sticking it out. It shit was nestled in his groin. Nah, I ain't saying French gay. But I think Diddy was trying him. Chat, I'm just saying, we done seen the signs. We done ignored it all this time. Fabulous, we need an emergency message from you. Okay? Fabulous. Fabulous. What was he talking? Fabulous. Fabulous. He might wanted that no semen on his fucking stomach from you. Fabulous. We need a statement. We need a statement, Fabulous.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
It's
scrambling
right
and
here.
scraping for shit.
No.
I
got
like
notes and
that.
shit. You know, I'll be practicing.
Nora, you too.
I got
Yeah.
Mr. Lee,
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
It's right here,
scrambling
it's
and
right
scraping.
The worst part about this is like Fabulous got that face that says, yo, every time this nigga get drunk, he get extra gay. Like, he got that face be like, man, he's doing it again. Like, this ain't his first rodeo. Like, you know how did he get? It's like, oh, man, he do it again. Jada is on some shit like, Jada, like, somebody on some like, yo, who gonna tell Jada? Jada's like, yo, look at this nigga Jada kissing. He's like, nigga look like a Ninja Turtle. Jada, I love you. Don't clown me. I love you, brother. I know you're a fat joke kind of. Yo, Jada, like, what the fuck?
When you
it's right here.
scrambling.
Yeah, you could tell. Yo, he got that fed up woman look right here. Like, man, come on, bro. What I tell you about doing this in public, bro? Dog, no semen for you, Diddy. Ain't gonna rub my shit on your nipple tonight.
Scraping for shit. No?
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go with that one.
Make a
That
wish.
one.
Just blow it out. It's your birthday every
Just blow it out. Pause.
day.
Every day's a birthday on Drink
Okay.
Champs, goddammit. I'm in.
He trying to blow something else out. Come on, Nori, you too drunk. You don't get it. Look, Fab the whole time is like, y'all done started this kid nigga up again, bro.
Where I look
Did you
back
miss
on
me?
where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real. Just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
Every day's a birthday on Drink
Okay.
Champs, goddammit. I'm in.
Where I look
Did you miss
back on
me?
where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real. Because I'm saying, it seems like a thing.
I miss
Yo, Meek, Immediately, we need to see Meek. We need to know what the fuck happened in that changing room when y'all was going in the same outfits, bro. If he said, nah, Meek, you look a little ashy, Meek. Meek, my chest a little ashy. I need something to lather me up before I put this on because I'm trying to show some chest meat. Yo, Meek, you know what I need, right? What you need, Diddy? I'm going to need some of that semen that I can lather my chest up with. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is crazy.
It's his birthday party,
man.
Man, but I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying? Eyes.
Bumbleclot. This shit hits different now. What? Yo, chat, I ain't gonna lie. This whole time, I thought this was a good old joke. Even when they started mentioning Meek, I'm like, oh, this is a good old joke. Now I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, y'all got 24 hours to actually say something. If none of y'all niggas say nothing, I know what it is. Hey, put it like this. If y'all knew my main mans that I went on 2 mans and everything with, he likes to get semen rubbed on his fucking stomach. If I don't say nothing in 24 hours, you could damn well assume I was with it too. All of y'all niggas, Ja Rule, Meek, Fab, all of y'all. If we got to get a statement to say, yo, bruv, what the hell? What is going on? If nobody says nothing, I see what's going on.
Hey,
did you miss me though? For real, because I'm saying it seems like a thing.
Chat, let me ask y'all a question. You and your mans that was supposedly partying, bagging bitches, y'all doing y'all thing. If he get exposed to fucking transsexuals, are you gonna stay quiet or are you gonna be like, yo, just to let y'all know, I don't know what the fuck that nigga got going on. That ain't me. That ain't me, gang. I don't do that type of shit. Kevin Hart, Trey Songz, Meek Mill, Fabulous. French, I fuck with you, but even you too, bro. We need some statements, bro. We just need some statements again. We gotta see what's going on. What's y'all niggas been up to, bro? Because we didn't... Nigga, I've never heard a definitive statement. I told you, I always hear these rumors, but I'm like, they always talking about another man. They're like, oh yeah, Diddy try to fuck him. It was some actor, nigga. I'm like, well, Diddy try to fuck him? And said, Diddy locked the door. And was just licking his lips, and the nigga had to get aggressive with Diddy. Like, what? Nigga, what you talking about, nigga? What we doing up in here? Say acting class? What the fuck we doing? I'm like, what? Now, we hear from the horse's mouth. Cassie is saying, I used to swoop the cum out of my pussy and polish it on Diddy's nipples. He gay. So we need to know what type of party these niggas was having with Diddy. I'm sorry. I think that's fair.
Today's a birthday on Drink Champs, goddammit. I'm in.
Where I look back on where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real, because I'm saying it seems like a thing.
It's his birthday party, man.
Man, but I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying? Eyes, brother.
Oh,
Eyes. I understand.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, okay. So check this out. It's me, Tyrese, Ray J.
Yes. Yo, Bless. Thank you for the $10. I agree with you too. Ross, I love you too, bro. You know I love you. Pause. I gotta say pause. But we need a statement from you too. That nigga, that crazy nigga who shot up the Trump spot, he said you gay too. You and Khaled. Khaled, I know you don't talk about Palestine, and I know Drake curved you like a side hoe, but we need a statement from you too, bro. We need a statement. Diddy done implicated all of y'all niggas in Batimanism. Okay, I'm sorry. Diddy done implicated all of y'all in Batiman activities. Once we know he was spreading semen on him, and he was partying with y'all, and we're hearing other people saying y'all were getting freaky with him, we now need to know. I mean, again, if y'all want to be doing what y'all doing, like, again, you don't got to tell us, we ain't forcing y'all out the closet or nothing, no crazy shit. But I know, I would have made a PSA, nigga. It would have been signed with all of our monikers, DJ Akademiks, Little Ak, Big Ak. Mack, Livingston George Allen, motherfucking Junior. That's what my mom called him. I would have had 15 signatures. I am not into no Batiman activity, and whatever Diddy done talked about, that's on him. So if y'all niggas stay quiet, I know y'all been quiet. We ain't say the nigga guilty. I think he's not guilty. Even though this kind of like threw a monkey wrench into it. But if y'all niggas stay quiet on this,
J and F. Gary Gray. You know, I'm a type of nigga, I like variety, man. I like people that's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying?
What type of variety, chat?
J and F. Gary Gray. You know, I'm a type of nigga, I like variety, man. I like people that's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? I like different personalities. So I was like, I never knew they would become what they are today. But you know what I'm saying? But like, you know.
Chat, y'all right.
Fruits. That sounded like the type of night I want to have in Vegas. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Tyrese kept on talking.
This is a fight. This is a Floyd fight.
Tyrese,
right?
you too.
Yeah. And Tyrese keep on talking about like how you got to get back for church. And we just like, yo, the night ain't start. You got to get back for church. We in motherfucking Vegas, nigga. But like, you can go to church next week. You know what I'm saying? Sending your thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but we in Vegas. Don't be bringing God into this situation. Don't bring God into this situation. You know what I'm saying? F. Gary Gray is like, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Then you got.
Yo, low lever, but we partied already. yo, y'all feel bad for that nigga Fab. But we partied already. It's like you're trying to get out of it. No, nigga. Nah, nigga. We about to put Baltimore ass later on. What you mean we partied? But we partied already. What you mean we partied already, nigga? We finna party again.
Ray J. So Ray J is like just really like feeling like Ray J.
Ray J, you need to make a statement too.
Right now.
Ray J, after partying with Diddy, you got booty goons. Something don't sound right. I'm sorry. I fuck with you, but we need to hear what's going on. This shit don't sound right. This sound like some whole lot of Jezebel shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Yo, now everything is making sense. Niggas was squabbling over the cereal? Oh, hell nah. Diddy fighting over cereal. Nah, bro, fighting over the Frosted Flakes is crazy.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close, but it's just like.
He basically say, don't get close to bed before you get fucked, nigga.
Yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna. If we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Fresh
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen.
We're having a good time, yo. Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
Nah, chat, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's why I said let me pick it up. That's why I said let me pick it up from right there. This why I gotta pick it up from right there.
Nah, I knew
he says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. He says something fabulous and he goes, yo, no, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What are you talking about? Then when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. Like, when you see Jadakiss put his head down, like, while we stuck here right now, and the cameras is rolling. Everybody see. Don't make like it's just me, man. Fluffy do some like a little fluffy stuff
Now
going
you guys-
on. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding. Let me get out. No, take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
I asked 50 about that, and he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy. I don't have no beef with Fifth. He loves me. Y'all can't see that he loves me. You really
Yo, chat, brother love means something different now, man. Nigga call himself brother love. You got a nut on his chest that he gonna rub on his nipple. This is crazy, brother love. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. If my kids had to find out I was gay at a motherfucking trial, I'm done. Yo, you know his kids is like, what? Daddy did what? Nah, ain't no fucking way daddy was rubbing random niggas semen on his nipples. Pause on what I just...
Puff had a brownstone, I believe, on 35th Street and like Park Avenue between Park. It's some brownstones down there. I believe 35th or 36th. And Mace was staying there. And I went to use a bathroom, and it was a dildo on the bathroom sink. And when I came out, I asked him what's about. He like, that's homeboy's joint. You know, I don't know what it's about. He always have girls over.
Wait.
From sink. And when I came out, I asked him what's about. He like, that's homeboy's joint. You know, I don't know what it's about. He always have girls over here, but I don't know. I said, well, this one your sink. This is your bathroom. You're using this bathroom. I don't know where his bathroom at. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's word to my son, because stop breathing. I swear
But you
to
know
God.
what? Guys use dildos on girls sometimes.
That's true.
We seen some.
But he said, I'm not saying he didn't.
Right.
I'm
You just seen
telling
it on
you
the
what I
sink. It was
seen.
just awkward.
I'm not saying that
Right.
that it was for either one of their personal use. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Mace, he really do know a lot about Puffy.
Oh, a lot. Bro, they used to live together. You understand? Remember Cameron said he went in there and there was this big dildo and Mace was saying,
Mace, he...
All right, I think Myron's on, I think. Myron Gaines. Let me see. Okay, here we go.
And talked about meeting with Cassie. Now, I will be honest with you guys. The lawyer that cross-examined this prostitute wasn't the strongest guy. He was
Xavier.
kind of, asking a bunch of questions, constantly getting hit with objections. And the lawyer and even the judge was like, "Hey, this question is what are you going here?" So this lawyer was not as good as Brian Steele. On Diddy's team, it was a black ball dude. So he didn't really go too hard when he did the cross-examination. So the prosecution.
All right, chat. Hold on. I get a little update for y'all little drama queens. Y'all drama queens. Oh, Mace hit me yesterday. I didn't even see. I'm going to read exactly what his message is. You know, I like to keep it open. Mace says, neither you, I, nor Cam, or anyone else keeps up with what people who work for us do outside their job. So that's her own personal view. Okay? She had the right to speak as a woman. So they talking about Shorty, the Treasure Wilson. And to receive her own consequences alone for her actions. Next time I'd ask you, give me a call if you gonna hold me accountable. All right. See, I never seen this. I ain't never seen this. I'll tell you what I'm typing. I'm typing some shit to them. I'm going to read both messages. I bet. All right, let me read this Mace message. Mace said to me, neither you, I, nor Cam, or anyone else keeps up with what other people do outside of work. Neither you, I, nor Cam, or anyone that works. Wait, Jesus Christ, am I drunk? Neither you, I, nor Cam, or anyone else keeps up with what the people who work for us do outside their job. So that's her personal view. Okay? And by the way, I agree. That's her personal view. But that's why I didn't violate her. I didn't want to, like, I could just be like, yeah, I'm going to just violate you. But I told her, I say, yo, I Cam and Mason. I know it's going to spill over there. I don't want to do that, shorty. That's what I said. He said, so she had the right to speak as a woman and to receive her own consequences. I agree, which I'm telling you, I don't respond nicely to nobody. My favorite thing in the world is when people overstep, I call them out of their names and I go on 100. I didn't do it with Treasure Wilson because of Cam and Mace. And maybe I shouldn't have brought them up either, but just to be clear, I said I'm not going to go crazy on you because of Cam and Mace. So because what Mace seemingly is telling me is she had the right to say what she wanted, but she going to receive her own consequences. So this whole thing where I look on the Instagram and I'm seeing it is what it is saying, yo, Ak, what's cracking? You better chill the fuck out or we lit. I'm like, whoa, wait, hold on. Calm down. Let's just calm it down real quick. Anyway, he said, next time I'd ask that you give me a call if you're going to hold me accountable. So Mace is saying he's not accountable. And Mace, I apologize for that, my brother. I thought that account was under y'all direction. I thought it was under y'all direction when I seen that. From the bottom of my heart, I thought it was under y'all direction. I've said this publicly. I love Cameron. I love Mace. Me and you, we've had personal conversations. I've seen you hit me up at times when you saw these other bitch-ass media niggas trying to link up or get at me, and you were like, man, I'm glad how you defended yourself. And I respected that. So I was just like, okay, I appreciate you knowing my resiliency. Y'all have talked about me nice. I've talked about y'all nice. When I seen this whole like, oh, this is your last warning, I'm like, whoa, like I couldn't tell what that was. So I had to respond. But, you know, and I think it probably goes both ways. Just like how he's saying I would appreciate if you would hit me up. I would appreciate before like an official page for y'all podcast get at me that y'all would as well just be like, yo, make sure the hosts are on board. Because here's the thing. Cam and Mace hold weight in this world. I could have said some crazy shit to her, but if we then get to, okay, now I got to go at Cam and Mace, I got to go with Cam and Mace. So it was insinuated that Cam and Mace, because they're the show or they're the other two people on the show with her, that they was going to trying to flame it up. All right, bet. Let me see. I'm reading this. I don't know. Why did I see this yesterday? He says, until then, remember what people say about you don't mean that's who you are. It means that's how they think you are. Lies and slander don't work on truly blessed people. You're blessed too. Mace, I love you, bro. And by the way, Mace, I sent you my number too. So you could have texted me that too. I don't know why. I just seen this today. It says, oh, I got to read what I said because I like to keep it all the way transparent. Right? Why did this only popped up now? He sent this yesterday. It says yesterday at 2:50 a.m. So it's like close to 3 a.m. Let me tell you what I just said. 5:41. By the way, this is all, you know, I'm not capping. Mace, Okay. I said, I just saw this. Peace and love. Yeah, the internet was going crazy with it. I love you and Cam and couldn't believe they was putting me to respond to y'all. The Breakfast Club girl called me a liar. I wanted to defend myself, but of course, I'm not the most liked. So they wanted you guys to go at me. I'm going to keep typing. Because of Treasure, I had no problem with Shorty. I had no issue with her and tried to dismiss it. I thought the brand account or podcast account was both you and Cameron stance on the entire issue, not maybe some employees who worked for you guys defending her, which I understand. All right. Okay. My number is above. Text me. We can always talk. Cool. Transparent. Y'all know me. I'm the most transparent nigga out here, bro. Y'all clown me for shit, and some of the shit y'all clown me for, it might be true. Whatever. But, like, I'm going to always keep it 100. All right? Shout out to Mace. W Mace. Yeah, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't want to get into it with Cam and Mace anyway, and this shit was going to hurt my heart. And I was actually waiting for a response from them. I'm like, I told you how much I looked up to Cam. I don't want to ever go with Cam. I love Mace. Me and Mace, like, just watching even how Mace demeanor to certain shit, I really fuck with Mace. And I didn't really want y'all to, like, put me against it. But then I know how the internet works, and I know who I am, right? Like, number one, I would have had to go with them. Here's the reason why I got to go with them. Because if I don't go with them, if they said something like, quote unquote, checking me in terms of, this is your warning, y'all gonna say, oh, act you pussy. You said something about this girl, and as soon as the men came in, you ain't saying nothing no more. So you know what I did? I said, I bet I got to go get prepared for 10 rounds with Cam and Mace. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't going to go back and forth with her. I said what I said, but when I felt like they was coming in, I'm like, all right, me and Cam and Mace going to go 10 rounds. Fuck it. Bro, I don't like pick and choosing. And I know y'all little narratives. Oh, I can only do this with women. All right, bet. So forget Lauren, because I already ethered her. I don't got to respond to the Breakfast Club girl no more. Treasure, I'm not going to really go back and forth with her. I was just trying to say, like, why you picking sides? Just chill out, shorty. Then I thought Cam and Mace was just like, nigga, yo, bro, you talking to our co-host like, nigga, we'll violate you, nigga. And I'm like, well, I'm going to look like a hoe now if I'm like, oh, nah, I love y'all too much. All right, bet, let's get it. And I'm glad it's not that, because I do like these guys. But yeah, know the whole truth. You know what I mean? It is what it is, bro. All right, let's get back to it. Oh, I'm actually, I'm in a good mood now. I do fuck with Cam and Mace. Somebody said 10 rounds. Pause. I know we just talked about Diddy, but what's up? All right, chat. We good. Cam and Mace, listen, you're right. I think it goes both ways. That's the only thing I'm going to say. I think it goes both ways. Mace, I could have hit you directly because we've had conversations. I could have hit you directly, but y'all could have hit me directly too, because it just came from the It Is What It Is page. So I'm thinking it's both of y'all. I'm really thinking, or it's one of y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, Cam's such a slick talker. I be thinking it's Cam. Cam is a shit starter, bro. So I'm like, oh damn. If Cam, you can't be a bitch and respond to her, and as soon as Cam respond to you, you're like, oh my God, I love Cam too much. All right, it's gonna hurt me, but fuck it, let's do it. So anyway, all right. I think we kind of close that arc. Is that cool? Somebody said, Ack, you just talk shit to make money. This is pro wrestling. I love Cam and Mace though. Bruh, yo, it's easy to go at niggas that I don't like. Like, well, if they have some relevance. Like Mealy Mall and them niggas, I don't like them. Somebody said I'm glazed. Yeah, because I like them guys. That's all. Like, I had to make the hard decision. I'm like, all right, prep for 10 rounds. However, I kind of still want to watch their show. Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, I am happy because I like them. But yeah, I'm glad. I am glad. I'm glad. So you call it whatever you want to call it. I'm glad. Okay, Mace, I love you. Cam, I love you. Even though the post felt like it was Cam typing, and I'm like, oh my God, Cam is too slick with the mouth. Pause. No Diddy, literally. Okay. All right. Somebody said, Ack, you just be sensitive. No, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I just try to defend myself, dog. Just let me defend myself. You feel me? And Treasure Wilson, I got no problem with you, girl. I got no problem with you. I know Lauren might be your friend. I understand that. But you could sit this one out. That's what I was saying. Just sit this one out. And I'm not gonna I might constantly violate Lauren because she was out of pocket. But with me and you, I got no problems with you. And I do have some respect for you because you on a show that I fuck with and I like Cam and Mace. Okay? So I'm going to just leave it there. I think we cool. And back to the bullshit. All right, let's go. So former Fed explains why the Diddy trial. Okay, so this is Myron explaining it right here. Chat, can we say W? Hey, chat, everybody who's watching, go show some love to Mace. Everybody go to his Instagram. Just be like, yo, Mace. W Mace, appreciate you for clearing that up with Ak. Because, you know, also, I watched the audience. And a lot of the audience was just like, yo, bro, we like this girl. She's a very likable figure. We like Cam and Mace. I watch their content. They clearly watch mine. I'm not trying to be beefing with everybody, honestly, bro. I'm really not. I know some of y'all think that's just my thing. I'm not trying to be beefing with everybody. Okay? So just please show Mace some love. Tell him that I appreciate him. Okay? All right. Anyway, let's get some more details on this Diddy case. Wait, why did I check my messages? I must have checked my messages for something else. Did I check my messages for something else? Okay. All right, let's keep hearing this.
She came back on redirect, and then he asked the prostitute, hey, did he direct the sex in the BJs? Yes. He made between $30 and $100 in the first meeting to 5 to 6. The first meeting he was supposed to be stripping, he got $30 and $100 more than he was supposed to for the stripping, right?
$3,800.
Then he made between 5 to 700 to 6K every time he showed up.
Hey, no, we got to put the same energy and everything. Whatever, chat nigga, all my Akademiks TV pages, y'all put it out there. We have done a ceasefire. I love Cam and Mace. It seems like they have some love for me. Let's just leave it at that. I know y'all want to see World War III, but sometimes World War III isn't worth it or it ain't pretty. Let me tell you this. There's a lot of, like, in this media space, a lot of us going to be here for a long time. You never want to really, it's like U.S. and Russia. Russia got some shit and U.S. got some shit. You don't really want to go to war, so it's sometimes tense, but then you bring the level down. You get what I'm saying?
Cassie paid him when he performed, but when he couldn't perform, like he couldn't get an erection or he couldn't ejaculate, they wouldn't pay him. Now, what he claims is once he saw...
So Chad, here's my new theory. Diddy had a semen, he was running a semen extracting factory. He was trying to get all samples of semen from different men to either taste, maybe you know, there are some people, well, actually, I know a fucked up homie who he tells bitches that his nut works to help them with aging. I don't know if it works. Well, pause. Like, it's clearly a lie, but what I'm saying is, I don't know if that saying works with women trying to do whatever with him sexually. But there are some people who believe that shit, that, oh yeah, no, semen helps cure pimples. Like, fuck out of here. Like,
Diddy hit her, the first time he saw her hit her, he couldn't get hard after that. He couldn't be able to get aroused, right? He only saw her one time outside of sex. He recalls Diddy was saying for them to have sex again. Okay, so let me tell you guys a story real quick because it's pertinent.
What the fuck? It said a video unavailable. What happened? Oh, did he delete it? Oh, he went private. What happened?
A pool, y'all.
Who else is out there? Myron, why'd you make it private? It was a quick live, but he made it private. Myron, maybe he's gonna make it public again. Let's go to Law and Crimes. Law and Crime is definitely gonna do something. Oh, nothing? Okay, let's go to, somebody got to be live right now. Fuck.
Money, Debbie, out with guns, dressed in all.
Hey, chat, I've never watched this person's content, and I'm not capping, so please don't. Her name's Tisa Tells. Is she cool with me or not? I don't know if these people be beefing with me. Like, a lot of these people, they be having whatever they think about me. I never really talk about them. Is she cool with me? Should I play it, or is she a hater? I have no idea. If she cool, I'll play it. Someone said there's a photo going viral of Lauren London at a 2009 Diddy party in white dress while 6 months pregnant with Wheezy's baby. Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. Oh, she don't like me? Okay, all right, let me backpedal off that page. I'll just backpedal off that page. Yeah, why she don't like me? There's so many people that I don't know, whatever. I may have did something. Okay, who else is there? Fox 5 is there. Who else? We're just kind of looking. We want some like people who are in court to kind of tell us what the fuck happened, right? Let's just put in Diddy, and then go to live.
All right, we have Fox 5 team coverage on the big story tonight. We're going to kick things off with Stephanie Bertini live in Lower Manhattan. Stephanie.
Yeah, it was a day of extreme.
Why y'all calling the shit like, yo, Diddy liked man milk lotion?
Extremely powerful testimony. Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura, is now 38 years old. Now, she was only 19 when she met Sean Diddy Combs. They initially met in 2005. He was 37 at the time. They initially had a relationship that was professional, she said, but then it turned into a romantic relationship, which, of course, was a very high-profile relationship. Cassie is now married to somebody else, and she's pregnant, expecting her third child with her husband. She was on the stand today. You can see in these courtroom sketches, clearly emotional as she shared this powerful testimony. She talked about different things, but when it came to her relationship with Combs, initially he signed her to his record label, Bad Boy Records, Cassie said in court, and then once it became a romantic relationship, she described a relationship that was good sometimes, but also bad, she says, and included some abuse. She also talked about having a relationship with him in which she was controlled. She also talked in detail about these freak-offs, which are central to the case. Cassie sued Diddy in 2023. They settled right away, but then other victims started coming forward, and it's amounted into what is now a federal case, racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Diddy has maintained his innocence the entire time. Of course, a very high-profile case. My colleague Lisa Evers is with me. Lisa, you were in court today. Talk about, like, what happened in court that really stood out.
Well, it was a very emotional day. You know, Cassie Ventura took the
Shout out to Lisa Evers. She is a veteran in the game at this.
witness stand for the prosecution. She is basically the cornerstone.
Oh, wow. They show her crying. Look at Diddy. Remember, she's pregnant. She's probably looking beautiful, glammed up. This is the AUSA Emily Johnson. You see the judge over here. And Diddy, he is fully gray. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think this is a bad image. Diddy looks like a nigga who has robbed women of their youth, robbed them from the cradle. Not necessarily because she was 21, but still, you know, the optic of Diddy looking old and gray, this woman recounting her early 20s that Diddy supposedly forced her to fuck. And I mean, they haven't given us a number, but it feels like it's more than dozens. It feels like it might be over 100 sex workers. Would y'all agree? Feels like Diddy kind of forced her to fuck over 100 sex workers. That might be a problem.
Her entire story and experience is the cornerstone of this federal racketeering case. And she was rubbing her belly at times, as you would when you're pregnant with an unborn child. She got emotional at times, talking about this toxic relationship that she endured for many, many years, trying to paint a picture of which was very dismal and very upsetting, and upsetting for her too. At times, she actually broke down. We saw her reaching repeatedly for tissues to try to blot away the tears, Steph.
And she talked in detail about these freak-offs, Lisa?
She did, and she said they started within the first year after her personal relationship with Sean Combs began, that they'd last from 1 to 4 days. It was almost always her having sex with a male sex worker while Combs watched. Sometimes he would get involved and participate. There was a lot of testimony about baby oil. He had a thing about baby oil. It all started with baby oil massages. He would be involved with it, and she would have to end up eventually booking these male escorts under the name Jackie Starr. That was her code name, her pseudonym, to get them to come to these freak-offs, which were happening with such regularity that she felt totally degraded, and she felt that's all she was good for.
Did you notice his demeanor while she was testifying?
Yeah, there was one point where Combs was kind of shaking his head a little bit, and then one of his attorneys put his hand on his shoulder, basically like, just calm down. But I think the thing that was really important today was yesterday we saw his 3 daughters walk out when the escort talked about the sex escapades that were going on.
So the daughters are like, yo, I'm good. We're out of here, bro.
And the freak-offs.
Why they got Diddy looking like this, man?
His entire family was there today, all the adult children, the sons, and those 3 girls who had to leave the court yesterday because they were apparently so upset by that very disturbing testimony that we all heard, Steph.
So this testimony, Cassie, we learned a bit about her life, at least this section of her life. What did she say that kind of painted that picture?
Well, she said when she first met Combs, she was on a high because she had, a 10-album record deal with Bad Boy Records, which was the hottest label at the time. But it quickly became clear that he was interested in her personally. Their personal relationship developed, and basically he and his staff.
By the way, while Diddy was in court, he made a heart symbol. How you doing? Like this? He made a heart symbol to the gallery, which obviously goes by brother love. But I think this was him in a nonverbal way sending love or showing a symbol to his family. But of course, you have everybody else, including the media, who took notice of it. So this is how he looked.
Control over every aspect of her life in terms of her finances, in terms of where she lived, and she was constantly trying to please him. She was asked by the prosecutor, why did you stay with him for these freak-offs? And she said, I just wanted to make him happy. That's all I cared about. And she said, I was young and confused, and there was a lot of drug use going on there.
The allegations are really that he used his power to orchestrate this whole thing. That's what they're arguing, essentially.
Well, exactly. And it was also key. There was a lot of detailed testimony about the involvement of his 3 personal assistants as well as his bodyguards, because that is key to the government's case to show that this was an enterprise, that this was a criminal enterprise. And so they clearly established that today, Steph.
Lisa Evers in the courtroom for us. We're going to throw it back to you inside, Natasha and Steve.
Very well, we appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, here's another breakdown.
How would you describe Cassie's demeanor when she took the stand today?
When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs.
What was Sean's reaction when he saw Cassie enter the courtroom?
Attorneys say that this is the first time that they've met since 2018 when she attended the funeral for Kim Porter, which is the mother of Sean Combs' 3 children. So to watch Sean Combs watching her was really interesting because they haven't seen each other in at least 6 years. But he can't say anything. This is a moment for him where he has to be silent, and right now we're hearing what she says in terms of what happened during the course of their over 10-year relationship.
Is he showing any reaction to what she is saying on the stand?
I can tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she has to say, as well as those jurors. People know that she was that star witness, the key person in all of this. When you think about that civil suit that came out in 2023, that was settled the day after. She really is the person that connects all the dots. When you look at the indictment and you look at some of the charges, she's the one talking about the freak-offs and what was involved and how she had to act. The prosecution is asking her questions to show that she wasn't in control. She said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on to the lighting in the room to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak-off, the freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
And at some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie expressed looking forward to these said freak-offs.
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs and I really did love him.
And that is speaking to the psychological abuse in addition to the physical abuse that she potentially experienced as well.
She's definitely laying out someone who was young, who was influenced by wanting to have this record career. She signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment led by Sean Combs, and basically describes being enamored by Sean Combs, loving him, not knowing about certain things sexually, and him sort of telling her, teaching her about that. And what you hear is someone that was young and said, and she even said, you know, I was young, I was naive, I didn't know any better. But she's really telling the story of someone who thought she was going to be with someone in this music industry that was going to help her career, that cared about her, but quickly learned after the freak-offs that wasn't the case. And what I thought was also interesting is she said that after that first freak-off, she said she felt dirty. She didn't want to do it. And when she brought up the idea of having a conversation about the freak-offs in an email.
Yeah, that is definitely contradicting, though. So I get it. She claimed she didn't want to continue to do it. However, she also said she knew he was going to do it. And by the way, chat, what I'm explaining here, and I need, again, at times I might have like a symbol or something or a signal when I'm trying to tell you to understand things, but we got to use our brain. There's a lot of women, let me tell you this, like chat, like I'm not capping with you, I'm looking you in the eyes. There's a lot of these women who intentionally date rappers. They like the lifestyle. They know none of these rappers are going to be faithful. They know that rappers do A, B, C, and D. Most of them cheat. Most of them have multiple women. Most of them are going to do this. Most of them are going to embarrass them. But they like the lifestyle. They like the gifts. Here's the thing. A lot of times, and think about some of these phrases. They cope with not being okay with certain shit by saying things like, I'd rather cry in a Rolls Royce than cry in a Honda. Now, if that's your mentality, I don't want to hear you 20 years later or 5 years later or 7 or 10 years later saying you were a victim. You knew what this was coming with. You knew that this guy wasn't going to be monogamous. You knew what was going to go on. Like, you wanted the lifestyle, right? You're picking this lifestyle. And for you to be like, oh, no, come on, you're seeing it. What Cassie said that was so important. Cassie said, if I don't do the freak-offs with him, he's going to do it with another woman. Come on, chat. What does tell y'all? What that tell y'all? Does it tell you that he gave her no option to leave? Does it tell you that she had to do it? Or did it tell you that she wanted to still keep this man in whatever capacity or whatever relationship or whatever closeness she had him, and she was down to do things that maybe she didn't particularly like? Okay, well, if that's what he's into, you ever heard the saying, what one nigga won't do, or what one bitch won't do, another bitch will do, or what one nigga won't do, another nigga will do? She took that mentality and applied it to say, rather than me letting him go get another woman to do it and I could leave, I'm going to go do it. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that was a very intricate moment. Now, I get it. This whole case is laden with a lot of abuse by Diddy. And that's what makes it so complicated. Because if we make the point to say, Shorty, you got the choice to leave, and you literally said, if you didn't do it, another woman would do it. That's what you said. Then they're going to throw the heaps of abuse that he did. A lot of it physical, maybe some of it verbal. They're going to say mental. And that then makes it a little bit, it's muddy waters to navigate through. But truthfully, chat, like, once I heard Cassie say, if I didn't do the freak-offs with him, he was going to get another bitch. And I'm like, well, did you end up doing it? Yeah, I ended up doing it. I don't know what we constitute as a choice. And this is the interesting thing about this whole sex trafficking shit is what constitutes as a choice? Does it constitute as a choice when you make that, you have that in your mind saying, if I don't do it, another bitch going to do it, so I'm going to do it? Is that a choice of your own recognizance of your own free will and power? Or is that you feeling coerced? That is like a really central, integral point that's going to determine if Diddy goes to jail for life. Did you make that decision because you were financially coerced, because there were veiled threats, there were whatever that could have influenced you to make that decision? Or did you say, I want this man because of all the things that I get from this man, and if he wants freak-offs, I'm going to give him freak-offs, and then essentially years later you're now saying you were forced? I don't know. It's going to be up to those jurors. I see somebody on Rumble. Rizby, I see you, my boy. Shout out to all my people on Rumble. We going over to Rumble soon, so everybody get over to Rumble. Y'all can start already. Start hitting the Rumble. Not Rumble, I mean Kick. My bad. Ooh, Kick. Sorry, Rizby. Everybody start heading over to Kick. Kick.com/academics. He said, you got a point, Act, but, and I understand the but. The but is the weird shit. Diddy is weird. The gay shit. Diddy is gay. The violent shit. Diddy is a domestic abuser. These are all things we could say yes to. But is Diddy a sex trafficker? Or if you put all those things together, is it sex trafficking? That's what this case is about, chat. That's what the case is about. I don't know if we have an easy answer. Does all these people that are testifying for the government have an angle? The one sex worker, he secretly fell in love, seemingly, with Cassie. Cassie, who just got supposedly a $30 million settlement from Diddy, she could break her NDAs by testifying, but the government approached her, which probably was initially looking at her as, you're either a victim or you're a co-conspirator. So she got to flip on Diddy. Who are these other people? The person who worked in the hotel. He says he saw A, B, C, and D. I feel like I'm giving a closing right here, chat. This is like the closing for Diddy. If we were closing right now, after day 3. The person who said he showed up to the 6th floor at the LA Intercontinental Hotel. He said that Diddy tried to be like, yo, you recorded, and he had to get physical with Diddy. Wasn't in the report. Admitted that he recorded the video selfishly to show to his wife, but never called the cops. Said Cassie didn't want him to call the cops, never put that in the report. Again, this is going to come down to who do you believe, and here's what I'm thinking. Remember, this is in the United States of America. For someone to be found guilty, a jury of their peers, at least 12 of them, has to come to a unanimous decision beyond a reasonable doubt that this person is guilty of said crimes. I've told you what is clear he's guilty of: being a freaky ass nigga, being a batiman, being a domestic abuser. But is he guilty of the crime of being a sex trafficker? That is to be answered, and it will be answered by a jury at some point. After day 3, do we have the answers? I don't know. Let me keep playing. And by the way, this is CBS's News' Jerica Duncan.
Email, which the jurors saw, she said she backpedaled in the email because Combs responded by saying, I know, you don't want to do it. And she said, oh no, well, it's not that. But that was the beginning. That was in 2010, where she brings up in an email that she wanted to have a conversation about this. And in her words, she didn't want to do it, but she felt like she had to do it.
Gosh, it's so difficult to hear all of these details. And since taking the stand, Cassie has been emotional. What made Cassie emotional on the stand?
I think what made Cassie emotional is having to describe the details of the freak-off and why she did it. When she talked about wanting to do it to please Sean Combs, that's when she broke down. Up until that point, she had just been answering the questions. She's a little soft-spoken at times, but that's when she got emotional. When she had to answer the question about if she enjoyed it, that's when she broke down, because she said, I enjoyed being with Sean Combs. And she says, I did it because it made him happy.
What did the expressions of the jurors look like?
The jurors are laser focused on what Cassie has to say. And that's to be expected, right? Because she is the person who will likely be on the stand, according to attorneys, for 2, maybe 3 days. She's the one that was in the relationship with Sean Combs for over 10 years. So she's got a lot to say, and she's just getting started.
Just how important is Cassie's testimony to the prosecution?
I think it really connects the dots, Rachel. When you look at that initial indictment and what's being alleged, she really is the person that has probably the most information about this idea that the prosecution says, which is creating a criminal enterprise for Sean Combs' sexual desires. Something else that the jurors saw today that sort of connects it back to this alleged criminal enterprise are 7 photos of people that were very close to Sean Combs, one even his former chief of staff. And these were all people that Cassie Ventura was able to name and explain the functions in terms of what they did: security, driver, chief of staff, someone that handled financials. So it's showing that she knew some of these people, again, because she was with him, around him for so long.
What have reactions in the courtroom been when explicit details of these freak-offs are being described?
Honestly, I'm looking at his family a lot as these details are coming out, and they really don't have a reaction. They're listening. I thought it was interesting yesterday that during part of that testimony with the escort, the male escort, the girls left. So Sean Combs has 3 daughters that are in the courtroom. They left for some of that testimony yesterday, but today they are staying through all of that testimony from Cassie Ventura.
Cassie's testimony is clearly explosive to both sides, both the prosecution and the defense. What other celebrities might we see take the stand in this case?
You know, there was a moment early on when Cassie mentioned Dallas Austin, who she called a friend, who's a producer. So I don't know if that's someone that we're going to hear from. We know that there were pictures shown to prospective jurors that are well-known celebrities, you know, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Lauren London. We don't know, though, how they fit yet into why they were even asked, do you know these people? Are you familiar with them?
So
Lauren London? Huh?
So the prosecution is questioning Cassie right now, still questioning her.
The defense hasn't even got a chance to, I mean, that might change based on the timing, but, you know, because she's such a key witness, it's likely that she will be on that stand the rest of the day.
What are you learning about the nicknames that were used between Cassie and Sean?
Yeah, we learned that Cassie referred to him as Pop Pop, and Sean Combs would refer to her as CC. The prosecution says, what does CC stand for? She said Cassie Combs.
What kind of witness is Cassie coming off as to the jurors?
I think...
Ooh. Once again, by the way, and you know, as I was talking about what I think Diddy's guilty of and what he's not guilty of, I definitely think he's guilty of this. I think he lied to her, bro. Mad niggas do this. Like, they get a girl, young and impressionable, you string her on. Like, Diddy got a complete family already. Like, I know he just had a new baby, but he has a complete family already. Bro, he's been fucking new 22-year-old girls all his life. Why do you think Cassie's special? He's probably stringing her on with whatever she wants to hear. Nah. Yo, no. Listen, girl, now I'm going to marry you. Like, you going to be my new Kim Porter. You're going to be whatever. I think he definitely lied to her. Of course. You could tell he's lying to her. You know what he said to her ass? He started calling her Cassie Combs. So he's selling her the dream. Yo, you're Cassie Combs. He's naming her. And you know the last name Combs means something. He's almost acting like she's that bitch, that queen. She's buying into it. Like, oh yeah, nah, I'm his number one. I'm his bitch. That's what's, shit, we finna eventually. And then what happens, as she starts to age, she gets a little bit older, he finds a new chick who he could run the same play on, he dips. Peace. But in that moment of noticing, like, oh damn, he don't fuck with me like that no more. By the way, I think the same thing happened with Shannon Sharp. I told y'all this. I think Shannon was fucking with this chick. And when Shannon sold her a dream, yo, I'm gonna give you a kid. Anytime I'll do the Shannon Sharp impression, this is your skip. I'm gonna give you a kid. Like, I think he was gonna was planning to give her, he was telling her, I'm going to give you a kid. Yo, whatever. I'm going to, you know, stringing her along. And then it only when he was starting to move on to a new chick. Because remember, the last couple messages, he wasn't seeing her as frequently no more. That's when she's like, damn, this nigga lied to me. He ain't give me no kid. I ain't getting no ring. I ain't getting nothing. And I done fucked not 10,000, like at least 1,000 niggas. Cassie gets salty. She gets with the trainer. Trainer broke. Trainer's like, yeah, we don't do private jets. We do connecting flights. Like, we do buddy passes. We do Uber pools. We in the back of the plane, not first class. We not. Cassie like, man, fuck that nigga Sean, man. Wasted all my talented beauty and youth on this bitch ass nigga. I'm suing him. I think that's the same thing about. That's what I personally believe. I think when you lie to these chicks, like a lot of niggas lie to women, give them false promises. You know what I said about the Shannon Sharp case? This chick was begging for a baby the whole time. If Shannon Sharp had gotten her pregnant, he would have never caught a case. They're only tight when you leave them high and dry. They have to walk away from the situation with only memories of you fucking them. Yes, they're going to sue. If that chick with Shannon Sharp had gotten a baby, which going to be her meal ticket, she not suing, I promise you. I promise you. Cassie, she was with this nigga for 10 years, dealt with all type of bullshit. People saying that she was a homewrecker with Kim Porter. He done beat the fuck out of her. He done did A, B, C, D, and E. But at the end of the day, she had to leave with nothing with her 2 long hands. I guarantee you, bro. And the worst part about it, because a nigga like Diddy famous, she got to watch Diddy do this shit again to another bitch. She got to watch Diddy do the same play to another bitch. Another chick come in and be like, yo, you the one. All right, come on, I'm going to get you a spot over there. Yo, come on, let's do the freak. And she, man, fuck that shit. You get what I'm saying? They're watching Diddy do the play. He did it to Gina, did it to some other girls, and then even Young Miami was about to get the play. Man, now you living with this guy who's he might love you, he a trainer, but he broke. Nigga broke is a joke. Y'all splitting bills. Ain't no assistance. Y'all talking about, yo, I don't know if I could afford daycare. I don't know if I could afford babysitter money. That was never the conversation with Diddy. You start resenting that nigga. Somebody come up with a bright idea. Man, sue that bitch ass nigga Diddy, man. That's what I really think. Anyway, let me keep playing.
Naturally, when you look at her visually, people see that she's pregnant and looking like she's due any day now. So they might, have empathy, sympathy for her in that way, but we don't really know. We know that they've been instructed to be fair and impartial. As to what type of witness she's coming off as, she's describing someone that she was, someone she said that was trying to figure out who she was at that time and who she was allowed to be. Now you're looking at somebody that's almost 40 years old, totally different person, but even in describing what was going on at her at that time, taking drugs, trying to please Sean Combs. She's really just sort of laying out the case for her not having a lot of control. So I think that's the takeaway. This is someone who is making it very clear that at that particular time in her life, she says she did not have any control really over what she wore, what she...
By the way, also shout out to all my people on Kick. Big Cap, No Cap, thank you for the 5 gifted. King Jar, Far, 86, thank you for the 2 gifted. Tote or Float, thank you for the 5. Bell House, thank you for the 5. Oh my God, Kick is going crazy with the gifted subs. King Jar, Far, he actually gifted like about 10 more. Houston Hitter, thank you for the gifted. Also Maconio, thank you for the gifted. Sosa Mac, thank you guys for the gifted. Kick is going up. I appreciate all you guys. Love y'all. And by the way, Lord Niggy, what's up? I see you, my boy.
She did, who she was having sex with. She's a different person now, but I think when she talks about those details and even reflecting on them for herself, as we saw today, she broke down in that courtroom.
Her husband's been by her side. He's in the courtroom. Have you been able to see his reaction?
I was sitting about 2 rows behind Cassie's husband, and he also not showing any emotion that I can see visibly on his face, but just staying there. And there obviously to support his wife, but I can only imagine how difficult it must be for everybody listening to these details, but definitely somebody who's as close to her as her husband.
Okay. Next, we have, and this is what we have. Hold on, give me a
Everybody,
second.
I'm here outside 500 Pearl Street.
Shout out to Lisa Evers, man. Lisa Evers has trod the beaten path. She's one of our greatest hip-hop journalists, and I do say journalist when I mean journalist. She's done a great job covering so many things, even from the Vibes Cartel case to the Bobby Shmurda indictment to pretty much even the Casanova situation, the Tekashi 6ix9ine. She's done an amazing job. She also has, I believe, a show called Street Sweepers, I believe, and or Street Soldiers or something like that. And she's really good. Anyway, this is her report. By the way, we're trying to get the feeling of what was said in court. We see the tweets. We read all the tweets, but we're trying to get the feeling of what was happening in court. By the way, for the people who are waiting for the Tory Lane stuff, we'll talk about that in a short second, okay?
Which is a federal court here in Lower Manhattan, Southern District of New York. And I was in court today for the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, and very dramatic day in court, raising a lot of questions, very powerful testimony by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She took the stand. She's about at least 8 months pregnant, got up there on the stand and started to detail very calmly, very methodically.
By the way, is the video, if you're hearing it out of one speaker over the other, is the video, not me.
Without any malice in her voice and without any kind of snide undertones that some people might have expected to hear from her. She detailed the beginning of her relationship with Sean Combs, which was when she was 19. She first met him. She was looking forward to having a recording career with him. She actually signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Records, his label, and she thought she was on her way to stardom at that point. Instead, what evolved was a personal relationship where he came on to her. She got involved with him personally, and then soon after they were intimate, she says these freak-offs began. And we've heard a lot of talk in the media about what these freak-offs are, but I want to explain it to you, and it might be a little disturbing and triggering for some people, so I'm just giving you that in advance, but I'll try to be as delicate about it, but as accurate as possible. So basically what would happen with these freak-offs, the first one happened in New York City, and basically there would be a man who would be hired. In this first case, it was a male stripper who also worked as an escort. The male stripper escort would have sex with Cassie while Combs was in the room in the corner. Now, the first time that they did it, she said that Combs was wearing a white bathrobe, he had a baseball hat on, he had a red bandana covering the lower part of his face, and that he was sitting there in the corner because he didn't want the escort apparently to see who he was. Cassie was dressed in red lingerie. She had red platform pumps, like stripper type of shoes. She was wearing a red wig and sunglasses because she didn't want the escort to walk away or to identify her until they knew that this person would keep their secrets with them. So they proceeded to have sex. She proceeded to have sex with him. Combs, all the while, sitting back and giving directions as to what should happen. So he first instructed them to massage each other with baby oil. She later testified this afternoon, that there were about 10 large bottles of baby oil that were used in every one of these freak-offs, which was
10? Oh, okay. I see why you had 1,000. If every freak-off was 10 bottles of baby oil, holy shit. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, a little bit of baby oil goes a long way. Like, 10? He wanted a real slip and slide, didn't he?
Would last anywhere from 1 to 4 days, and usually the participants would be Cassie, a male sex worker, having sex with her, somebody that she was told to hire. She would do the actual bookings from these escort platforms and escort apps and escort websites, and she would be the one that would actually hire the escort to come in there. And then depending upon whether or not he liked the performance, Combs would pay the escort anywhere from $150, but if it went on for multiple days, the escort would be paid up to about $6,000 or $7,000.
I wonder if so the escorts, could they leave and come back, or they had to stay? If it's like 4-day freak off, do you stay all 4 days? And I'm actually surprised. Like, I was surprised that Diddy had to give one of the escorts a Cialis. I'm like, yo, well, actually, that guy was a dancer. He wasn't a professional dick slinger.
In cash. So she said that
Chat, my McDonald's coffee's outside. Hold on, let me go grab it. All right.
red
Don't go
lingerie.
nowhere.
She had red platform pumps, like stripper type of shoes. She was wearing a red wig and sunglasses because she didn't want the escort to, to walk away or to identify her until they knew that this person would keep their secrets with them. So they proceeded to have sex. She proceeded to have sex with him. Combs all the while sitting back and giving directions as to what should happen. So he first instructed them to massage each other with baby oil. She later testified today, this afternoon, that there were about 10 large bottles of baby oil that were used in every one of these freak-offs, which would last anywhere from 1 to 4 days. And usually the participants would be Cassie, a male sex worker, having sex with her, somebody that she was told to hire. She would do the actual bookings from these escort platforms and escort apps and escort websites, and she would be the one that would actually hire the escort to come in there. And then depending upon whether or not he liked the performance, Combs would pay the escort anywhere from $150, but if it went on for multiple days, the escort would be paid up to about $6,000 or $7,000 in cash. So she said that these started off, and why would she do something like that? She said she was young and naive. That's a question a lot of people were asking. The prosecutor asked her that directly. Why would you do this? And she said, because I was young and naive and I wanted to make him happy, and I knew that this made him happy. But she said over time, and now we're talking about years, they were doing these freak-offs in a lot of different places, New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Las Vegas, and there got to be a handful of these male sex workers that were the ones who were their favorites and who they trusted. So she said that it became more and more degrading. There were degrading things done to her. She said that the baby oil, Combs insisted that their bodies always be glistening, and to keep this glisten going, they had to heat up the baby oil. They would run it under hot water so that...
Oh, shit. Oh, that's some new shit. The heated baby oil. Oh, chat, I got a small fry, too. You know, I eating 7 hours. I got a small fry. Got my coffee, black coffee. We rocking today. Good temperature. Gotta heat up the baby oil. That's the method.
Las Vegas, and there got to be a handful of these male sex workers that were the ones who were their favorites and who they trusted. So she said that it became more and more degrading. There were degrading things done to her. She said that the baby oil, Combs insisted that their bodies always be glistening, and to keep this glisten going, they had to heat up the baby oil. They would run it under hot water so that the baby oil would be warm when they put it on their bodies. She said freak-off supplies included lots of candles, the baby oil, of course, and then special outfits for her, these very sexy lingerie outfits, stripper-type outfits, which she would purchase at Pleasure Chest in Los Angeles or the Hustler store there. And then she described how the relationship devolved, and that, you know, her music career was not going anywhere, to endure the humiliation, which was her word, of these freak-offs, which you can imagine, and the dehumanization of them. She had to take drugs, she said, in order to just get through it and to be able to get through it, because if she didn't get through it, she feared what would happen. What would happen?
I ordered 2 coffees and a small fry. I only brought 1 coffee down here now. Yo, why is McDonald's fries so good? This ain't how regular potatoes taste. They put some type of bullshit on this. This is that GMO. I don't give a fuck. Yo, McDonald's do got like the best fries. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. My bad.
Happened was a beating from Combs, according to her, and she outlined some of the injuries that she sustained when he was displeased with her: busted eyes, black eyes, swollen lip, a broken lip, cuts on her lip, and a lot of hits to her head. And he seemed fond of one thing that we saw in that horrific video from the Intercontinental Hotel in LA with the beating was dragging her by her hair into different places. And so a lot of times he would watch watch. He would direct every move. He would tell the escort what he wanted him to do to Cassie. He would tell Cassie what to do. He would tell them, oh, you need more baby oil, and then they would have to do that. So there was a lot of direction constantly from Combs, which of course is very key to the case that the prosecutors are trying to bring, because according to the legal experts that I've talked to are very familiar with federal law and actually have tried cases in these courtrooms here at federal court. They say they have to prove for the trafficking, for the RICO part of it, they have to prove that there was coercion, that she was forced into doing this. Because one of the big questions that a lot of people had when we first started to learn details about this case was, if she was coerced, if she was forced, why did she stay with him for so long? And she said she was, she was actually in love with him, that when he was nice, he was charming. And of course, he was also, at the time that she was with him, he was at the height of his career. Basically, I mean, he had the Sean John clothing line going. Revolt TV was starting. He was hosting the MTV Video Music Awards. There were a lot of big things. He was getting Grammy nominations. There was a lot going on for him career-wise. He was being hugely successful, even a Broadway appearance. And then, of course, running the New York City Marathon to raise money for education in under-resourced communities. So she was meeting, she was involved with him at this very, very prominent time in his life where a lot was going on and a lot of attention was on him, and it seemed as if he could do no wrong. Of course, now we found out that was an image, and now we're finding out more about what the reality is for her. Now, while she was on the stand, as I said, she's estimated to be like 8 or 8.5 months pregnant. She was rubbing her stomach, rubbing her belly the way pregnant women do, or they just touch their stomach when you just touch your stomach when you're pregnant, and just kind of like to feel that heartbeat or feel that movement of that baby that you're carrying. And so she was doing that a couple of times during the testimony. She reached for tissues because she was getting emotional. Tears were coming to her eye. At one point, she really did get choked up and had to stop for a moment or two, but the prosecutor kept on relentlessly. And then also, she was asked to describe her daily life. Her daily life was basically being all centered around Combs and around making him happy and doing whatever he wanted her to do so that he would not hit her, would not beat her up, or would not punish her. This was the term that she used, this word punishing. And that when he was upset with her, Combs or his bodyguards would take her phones away, take her phone away, take her laptop away, so that she couldn't communicate or do anything. And that he insisted that she be the one to actually book these male escorts. So on all of the transactions, it's her credit card, it's her, her name. She's the one that's actually booking this. But another key piece of the case kind of emerged today of how the prosecution is going to weave this story of racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation across state lines for prostitution. They're basically laying the groundwork for the sweeping RICO case that if Combs is found guilty, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars. He's currently 55 years old. And then what is happening was, she said that his 3 bodyguards, there were 3 or 4 main bodyguards that were always with him, driving her, that would do whatever he wanted them to do. She testified about how one time he put a gun in her purse because they were going into downtown LA for an event that she was hosting, and she felt very nervous about that. She testified about these bodyguards basically doing whatever he asked them to do. And then also there were these assistants. One assistant, she said, would take care of the money, would give her money, and that by a certain period of time, after that first year with him, he was controlling, he or his business, his employees of Bad Boy Worldwide were actually controlling every single aspect of her life. So I have to give her credit for maintaining her composure throughout, because she's looking across that courtroom. Combs is feet away from her at the table with the defense. His 6 oldest kids, not Baby Love, because Baby Love's too little, but his 6 oldest kids are there in the courtroom. His mother is in the courtroom. There's some Combs supporters who are there. A lot of media from all over the world. She maintained her composure. She maintained her dignity, but she stayed very factual and almost in some cases matter of fact, describing how these things were going. And she said he really had a thing for baby oil. At one point, he had a pop-up pool, like a little pop-up kiddie pool set up in one of the hotels, and had it filled.
Whoa, we never heard this. I seen a post on Shade Room about this. What the fuck? I seen that. Again, that's what I'm saying. The tweets aren't giving us the whole fucking story still. Or where did I see that? Or maybe it wasn't. I seen somebody put like a little pool thing. It's like a little tub thingy. Here we go.
At one point, he had a pop-up pool, like a little pop-up kiddie pool set up in one of the hotels, and had it filled with baby oil, which he wanted her to go into in her heels and in her clothes, which is just unthinkable, some of these things that were going on. But the abuse, the degradation, putting body fluids in her mouth and that type of thing, him and the male escort on various occasions, and she said she reached a certain point where she felt really, really worthless, and that was just so very sad, because you got a sense of just this extreme fatigue she must have felt, this powerlessness, and just this tremendous just almost prison, and it's ironic because at the time that they were together, when they emerged as a public couple, it looked very glamorous. She's a stunningly gorgeous woman. He was always dressed to the nines and had all kinds of jewelry. We'd see them on red carpets. We'd see them at these A-list events.
So the Diddy and Cassie situation has been getting freakier and freakier by the day. The more and more I hear about these allegations, Diddy is a freaky man, the king of the freak-offs. And Cassie, you feel me? She was young, vulnerable. But like what Ak said, she could have left. Like, Diddy was not holding her. Well, this is what's hard for me. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't holding her hostage, but she said on the video that came out in the hotel where he hit her over and drug her back, she was trying to leave one of the freak-offs. And Diddy said, "Oh no, you're not going to leave the freak-offs. You got it. Yeah. Wait till the dude, bust a nut, allegedly. Then all over you, then scrape it off, go in the other room and rub it on my nipples." That's what he wanted. It sounds so crazy to say, but that's what Diddy wanted. Like, we seen him in the robe. I thought he was just fresh out the shower, but allegedly he was probably butt naked. I'm surprised there was no baby oil on her or him, or she wiped it off. That's why he was so mad. It was no baby oil on. Hey, man. I genuinely feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for her husband too, because he has to be in court and he's listening to all these things. And I don't really think Cassie's lying about anything. Like, Cassie just seems like a nice girl, probably like gentle, innocent, like, and she just wanted a career. Like, man, I'm struggling here because I want to be very, very honest about everything, like my point of view. I don't think Diddy was the best of best people, and I think everything he did to Cassie was wrong, and it was definitely manipulative and all that stuff. But like, is it sex trafficking though? Like, this is what he's charged for. Like, domestic violence, yes. Assault, yes. Like, probably a bunch of other crazy stuff, yes. But sex trafficking, bro, I don't know if you could say he was sex trafficking. But it's only day 2 of the trial, and I'm gonna be very, very unbiased about every single thing I say. It's day 2 of the trial. Diddy is he's there every day. They say that he's looking white as hell, he's gray as hell. He's, you feel me? They said he was looking at Cassie the whole time. But day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 2 weeks later, there might be someone else taking the stand, and we don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe like 3 days later, there's gonna be a new person taking the stand, and they just expose everything about Diddy. Like, we don't know fully everything Diddy's done yet. Like, there might have been men that he was having freak-offs with. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, Ak was the line about what he said. Diddy should just came out and said that he was a flexible, bro. He should just said he was bisexual, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And what Ak said, bro, all these rappers gotta come out who was around Diddy, like, really, really hung around Diddy and was like really cool with him. They need to come out and like, yeah, bro. You gotta defend yourself, your integrity. You feel me? But your boy Big Ak News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And do you feel like Diddy's innocent, or do you feel like he's guilty? And we're talking about sex trafficking. Like, we're not talking about is he a good person or not. Do you think he's guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie? It's your boy Big Ak News, and I'm out.